Hello and welcome to the Comic Conspiracy episode 490 for the week of Tuesday, March 2nd, 2021. My name is Ryan Higgins. Who's here with me this week?
Brock Sager.
Kevin.
And Charlie.
I just don't even care anymore. We have a jam-packed week of stuff to talk about, as well as WandaVision and Superman and Lois spoilers. So we're gonna straight into this. Like they loaded up the
Let's
news
lightning
here.
round this crap. Go hit it.
They loaded up the news
We
here.
don't know what lightning round is on this podcast.
I know, but I figure if I keep saying it, eventually it'll like click through.
If you say it, it will happen.
You mean
So
like
I think
when we go with the top three?
Yes, but let me first mention my 8 honorable mentions.
So I think the top news story of the week, without question, obviously, everyone saw this coming, but it's good to have official notice, official word. That is San Diego Comic-Con 2021 has been officially canceled. There will be a virtual convention. There is also, if you have tickets for the 2020 that were rolled to 2021, those are now applied to 2022. There is going to be a, I want to get the official word here. San Diego Comic Convention, the nonprofit that runs San Diego Comic Con and WonderCon, announced that it will hold a 3-day in-person convention in San Diego in November, putting Comic-Con, New York Comic-Con, Emerald City.
I think so.
Is that
It's like in early December.
right? Emerald City's. Is C2E2 doing November, December too?
They were. I don't know as of today.
Okay.
That's quite a
we're
traffic
going to
jam.
have like 15 cons in a span of 2 months. There's going to be more cons than there are in a weekend.
Yeah.
That's okay. I just want them to like go, you know what? We're going to just make one mega con coast to coast and have like just streams in different rooms of live events at other cons.
For 2 weeks straight.
I mean, the problem is you're going to actually have to pick. You can't just go to all of them. There's going to be like 3 cons at the same time.
At a time. Yeah.
What multiple
So
screens are for.
in good news, really. The infection numbers and rates are way down as people started to get vaccines. The new vaccine from Johnson & Johnson is coming out in like record amounts, and Biden announced today that they expect to have the entire country vaccinated by the end of May, which is 2 months earlier than their initial thought. So that's really good news. We'll see what happens because Texas and someone else, Louisiana. I remember who it is.
South Dakota.
Nah, I can't remember what state it is.
No, I think it was Mississippi. I think.
Yeah, that sounds right. Opened entirely 100% no mask mandate. So we'll see how that goes.
This is where you insert that Batman gif where he just puts his hand.
Yeah. I mean, we're not quite at the finish line, but we're definitely rounding the bend there. And they just decided to try their shoelaces together at on the last quarter mile. So we'll see how that goes. Good luck, Texas.
No, they looked over and said, "Ooh, bar open."
Yeah. But that, we moved to the red phase, which sounds bad, but is much better than we have been. That infection rates have dropped significantly in the Bay Area. So we get a lot more people in the store as of tomorrow. We're still going to keep it capped. We're not going to go crazy. Even if we can open up more, we're still going to keep it capped until all employees are vaccinated and we're at a point where it's safe for everyone. But yeah, Comic-Con getting canceled, no surprise. But yeah, we'll see if any of these conventions actually happen. Maybe they will. It seems like they'll have enough time to do something small. But it's just tough because, what are you going to do? Have 7 conventions in like 4 weekends, like right before Christmas, when people are trying to travel, like between Thanksgiving and New Year's, when they haven't been able to travel for a year and a half.
Really, you know what we're setting ourselves up for is the end of the world. It's like you're gonna have like all these cons all happening during Christmas season. The virus comes back, the whole world goes under.
Yeah. I mean, 100%, totally possible.
That's okay. Every single one of these cons is just going to get snowed in. And people are just going to be trapped in all those cities for...
Yeah.
Gonna die.
Freak snowstorm in San Diego shuts down the entire city for 3 weeks. So
Hey, I'll say one thing, though. If we're going to have this giant mega con that spans across the entire country and this is the last thing we'll see, fuck it. Let's roll.
like all nerds holding hands across the country singing like We Are the World or something.
Let's roll. Let's do it.
Ryan, would you actually hold other nerds' hands and sing We Are the World?
God, no. God, not even on a regular day. Not even pre-COVID.
No, he's going to watch it off the internet.
Hey,
Nasty.
Charlie, since we have no cons and I obviously can't be trusted as was proven in 2020, I need you to lock down my PayPal, Venmo passwords, and I'm going to give you my credit cards. You're the only one on this show I trust.
No, you got the wrong person. You should give it to me.
What?
Did you go after another art thing again?
No, but I'm saying, obviously 2020 has proven that I need to be able to travel to save money. So... this is scary.
I'm just going based on the fact that we're talking about the end of the world. Maybe I shouldn't be locking down all your.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Yeah, good point.
I say. We all live a little.
All right, I'm gonna Google search who's opening up their commission list.
Okay, Ryan. Next topic.
Next topic. So we're gonna stick with comics here, although this is not specifically. This is like kind of falls halfway in movie TV, but it is about comic books. This is the Mike Mignola Drawing Monsters documentary that was launched on Kickstarter, and within the first day, it received 3 times over its initial funding goal from co-director and co-producer Jim Demonakos. So this is going to be all about Mike Mignola, and I had a full list of people here, and I lost it. Where'd it go? Here he is. So this is going to have all sorts of people in it talking about Mike Mignola and Hellboy and kind of his history and his art style, his drawing examples that he's going to do. Has interviews with Neil Gaiman, Rebecca Sugar from Steven Universe, Doug Jones, Guillermo del Toro, Joe Quesada, Vita Ayala, Adam Savage, Tara McPherson, a bunch of other people. Some people from Dark Horse, Tom Snegosky, I just forgot to pronounce his name, who works with Mike Mignola pretty regularly. Christopher Golden, who's done a lot of work with him as well. Chris Robertson, and art. There's going to be all sorts of other art through it by Duncan Fergarito, Ben Steinbeck, Mike Mignola, Mike Norton, Lawrence Campbell, Craig Russo, Alex Maleev, Fabian Moon, Tim Sale, Paulo Rivera, and others. All sorts of people that have worked on Hellboy, the comics, the movies. They're all going to be involved in this Kickstarter documentary, which is great. Mike Mignola is an amazing artist, and this should be cool. I want to see what they can do, talking more about the movies and his concept artwork. He's worked for Disney, and he worked on Bram Stoker's Dracula, a bunch of other movies, plus obviously Hellboy and Marvel and DC Comics for a long, long time. Seems cool. I always like these. Don't know much else about that. I don't know if do they have a release date? I don't.
It's like spring 2022.
Yeah. And they have all sorts of you can get prints and T-shirts and blah 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 original crap. So yeah,
Kickstart for some swag.
Mike Mignola, you missed your chance at some Mike Mignola commission, $10,000, Kevin. You missed it.
Well, Ryan, you can still swoop in for $3,000 to get an executive producer credit.
Ooh, maybe.
Comics Conspiracy has an executive producer credit.
Yeah, I'll do it. So lots of good stuff there. Mike Mignola is super cool.
So if you bid for the producer credit, could you then leverage that producer credit to be a professional to Comic-Con?
Maybe.
I did once upon a time, I want to say maybe 96, get a Mike Mignola commission for watching his table at San Diego one year. And
Nice.
I paid a whopping $35. What is it now? 10 grand?
That sounds about right.
That's quite an ROI.
All right. This is the one for Toby. I don't know if you saw it.
I wish he was on video. I wish I was on video for this.
I went and looked on the Instagram. I didn't see shit.
Okay. So this is posted earlier today, this morning, by the one, the only Joe Mad. Battle Chasers.
Oh, I saw that.
Number 10.
Yeah, well,
Toby.
Unless he creates enough issues, as I've said many times before, to collect in a nice hardback that equals the size of the hardback I bought, I'm still going to attack him the next time I see him at a con. One issue.
So at this rate,
which is 9, too much to match the super expensive hardback I bought. Then I'll shake his hand and say thank you.
well, what do we think the last episode or the last issue came out? When do we think? Like 2000?
That was before the podcast, right?
Oh, way before. Yeah, the final episode.
I would say 2000.
But it was when me and Charlie were with you already.
Yeah.
It was.
Right. Was it that late? 2006, 2007? When did the last...
No, I think it did come out because I think I remember it being there when I was there.
Because all the other ones came out when me and Charlie were still at the distinguished competition.
Was it?
I can actually look. Battle Chasers number 9 came out in 2001.
Oh shit!
Yeah, I was gonna say it's been forever.
For 20 years.
Oh, then we were still with the other peoples. Really? I thought it came out when we were at the old shop.
No, I think that was the collected trade and hardcovers finally came out.
No. I remember when the hardcover came out because I told Ryan I'm the biggest idiot of all time. Because the minute I do, I thought he was going to announce the last issue within a month, but that didn't happen, luckily. I would have just tossed that book at him. Well,
yeah. 20 years for one issue. So if you figure 12 issues is the full run, you got another 40 years, and then we'll get those last 2 issues. So, Toby, by the time you're like 80.
Yeah, 80.
Yeah, 79. A cool 79, maybe.
The last issue will be released post-mortemly because he'll have finished it but not released it because he wants to stay on that schedule.
So I've still been waiting 33 years for Tick issue number 13.
I'm feeling good to be waiting for that for a while.
Well,
we'll see. We'll see if it happens.
Cool. I guess. Is it going to be like double issues, triple issues? I mean, is this number 10 going to be a full trade?
No, it's going to be like 4 pages. What are you talking about?
It's an ash can.
Yeah. It's going to be 4 pages, and other people do like backup stories in it, and it's going to have like 17 covers.
Colored, probably.
What's that?
It's not even going to be finished colored, probably.
I kind of like the idea of most of the issue just being a recap of what happened in all the other issues. It's really only 4 pages.
Yeah. It's going to be like those. Remember that Gen 13 was like issue 13?
Yeah, the
like
A, B, and C.
Part.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's going to be like that. It's going to be like 6 pages or something. Oh, Joe Mad. What are you doing?
I mean,
that's okay. It will still sell really well.
Oh, it would. Yeah, I think it'd be huge.
I'll buy 3.
Of every cover?
Yeah, but I'll hate him still. I'll be looking at you while I buy each and every cover.
Well, it comes out. Well, it officially came out today. No. The next topic: Infinite Frontier, DC's Infinite Frontier by Joshua Williamson. Go back a few episodes and you can hear our interview with him. We do stuff on Wednesdays at the store, so this will be out tomorrow for people listening, or I guess if you're listening, it's out now. But if people want to check it out digitally, or if your store does Tuesday releases, it was out today. So we got quite a bit of info of other stuff coming up. Now, we're not going to spoil Infinite Frontier. We'll save that for next week. We'll talk about it. But there are a couple things that were announced today now that Infinite Frontier is out, and more stuff is coming. So, again, we've had a significant amount of new releases coming from DC over the course of the next few months, and there are even more coming. So, if you somehow still think DC's going out of business or selling to rich fans, or is shutting down production of single-issue comics, I don't know what to tell you, because they're putting out all sorts of new shit. There is going to be a new Infinite Frontier 6-issue miniseries. So this is issue 0 for a reason, because there's going to be a full 6-issue miniseries, also by Joshua Williamson. This is going to further explore DC's rapidly expanding multiverse, featuring Alan Scott, Roy Harper, Barry Allen, President Superman, Darkseid, and other characters. The Justice Incarnate, which is it's kind of the new superhero team that's being formed. So, according to DC, the brand new event for DC is 1 foot in the past, but both eyes looking forward to a future they hope will remain as bright as it seems. So, I think we're going to be expanding out to all sorts of new story arcs and trying to figure, solve some of the events and some of the things that are brought up in Infinite Frontier. So we'll get more with that next week, I'm sure. However, what I think is the big story announcement out of this, obviously, Infinite Frontier getting a miniseries is great, but this totally caught me off guard. We're getting a new Tom King series, good, with Bilquis Evely. Amazing. And that is Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow, an 8-issue miniseries starting in June. I could never in a million years have put those three together. I don't think it would never have occurred to me. Tom King, Supergirl with Bilquis Evely. She's an amazing. Evely, right? That's the last name, Evely.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure it was Evely. I'll make sure I was pronouncing that correctly. She's amazing. If you've read The Dreaming, her art's just incredible on that series. Tom King on Supergirl, yes, please. That's a pairing I never would have expected. But yeah, I'm super happy with that. And of course, Crypto is going to be part of the team. Of course, if it's Crypto, you got to have. Or
so
if it's Supergirl, you got to have Crypto.
So is it really just a Crypto book? They just had to title it Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow?
I mean, that's fine with me if it is.
Doesn't this feel like there was a hat full of writer names, a hat full of artist names, and a hat full of characters, and you just reach in and pull one from each?
I'm fine. I'm not
complaining. I'm just saying this is the most random team up.
It is.
But it's awesome.
Now, Ryan, as a store owner, will you order higher on this than you would a regular Supergirl title?
Oh, yeah. Well, way higher. I mean, this goes
because of the creative team.
This is the next Tom King book. So it goes to people getting Strange Adventure. And I'm like, hello, you were a customer of mine who bought Strange Adventure. So we are giving you Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow because it's Tom King.
Because we went from
right. We went Batman to Mr. Miracle to Strange Adventure to Batcat. Now to this was seriously like no drop off. Obviously extra people buy Batman on top of it.
Right.
But
you forgot Rorschach.
Well, yeah, Rorschach too. And that sort of has additional people buying it because of the Watchmen connection. I mean, Strange Adventure would be like the lowest selling, quote unquote, which is still like a top 3 book for us, top 4 book for us. So, yeah, all of these books are. It's the next Tom King book, so people will buy it. Maybe some people won't because of Supergirl, but I think that's amazing.
I mean, his Up and Away with Superman was fantastic.
It was really good.
It was really amazing, good. And I'm like, yeah, I'll wait for the oversized deluxe hardcover, like Charlie.
Yeah, it'll come. So I'm very, very excited for this.
My comment on his Instagram post, because I'm not on Twitter, was basically...
Wait, you're not?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You're not?
I'm not on Twitter? No.
Wait, hold on.
God dang. I basically said, yeah, awesome. Already on my pull list at Comics Conspiracy.
Yeah, well, not technically, but it will be. It will be once catalog loads next month.
I loved how Batcat got dumped, and I got an email saying, "Yeah, we put you back on Batcat."
Well, six got busted too. Something's fucked up on Comic Hub with Batman Catwoman. It's getting fixed. Like, we're pulling issues for people. It's just not on the pull list. Yeah. Something's broken on the back end. They're working on it. Yeah. So obviously there's going to be even more big books. I know that Toby, this is for you. There's a Batgirls comic being rumored right now. Cool. So,
Batgirls, what you want?
Black Bat and Spoiler and maybe others.
Orphan.
Yeah, so whatever her name is today.
Which is true.
So lots of good stuff coming out of Infinite Frontier. And this week, holy shit, this week is stacked. So we have Infinite Frontier, we have Nocterra by Scott Snyder and Tony Daniel. We have Berserker, the
Keanu Reeves.
Book by Keanu Reeves. He actually is doing it. It's not just bullshit. He is like co-writing it. What's the shit? There's a big Marvel one. The Demon Days, the Tsunomoko Demon Days X-Men book.
You're forgetting a major title this week. How dare you not mention the Crime Syndicate?
He's getting there.
I'm really excited for that.
I am too. I'm not joking. How dare you not mention it?
I got a big stack of them. I think that book's going to be way underrated. I think people are going to be looking for that book, and stores ordered low on it. We did not. We ordered a bunch. Swamp Thing getting really good reviews. The Ram V Swamp Thing. So big week for books.
Batman's back.
Oh, Batman 106, of course. Huge issue. A lot of hype for that because it's got a cameo of a new villain in that. So,
and don't forget Star Wars High Republic, the regular,
High Republic 3. Yep, both
Adventures 2.
Yep, all those. Humongous week. This is the biggest week of the year so far. No question asked. Not even close. This is the biggest week of the
year. We measure it by a variance.
It's just so much.
So wait, to be clear, the homework is to read Infinite Frontier. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Infinite Frontier will be next week. So,
all right.
And Crime Syndicate.
It is. Well, that's a bonus. It is sometimes frustrating on Tuesday, especially because DC is doing their Tuesday releases now. So, technically the book's already out. And obviously Superman and Lois Day is Tuesday, so that's going to make us regularly very behind on that. But what are you going to do? We'll talk about what we can. We're going to move over to some TV and movie news. Again, packed week. Lots of stuff to talk about. We're going to burn through some stories because I know we want to get to WandaVision and Superman and Lois. This is for Charlie. And me, of course, but this is for Charlie. The one, the only Bruce Campbell.
I like Bruce Campbell.
Yep.
Tweeted a picture of London. Hey, dog, stop barking. That says, boy, it was a blast working in a certain city with a certain director on a certain movie with a certain actor. It sure was. Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, directed by Sam Raimi, is filming in London currently. So, although I'm pretty sure everyone would have assumed this, that's all the confirmation I need that Bruce Campbell's gonna be in Doctor Strange. So suddenly this movie has gone from...
It had to be an assumption the second Sam Raimi was kind of
on
attached to the project. There's a few cameos that have to happen. Like, I'm still assuming Ted Raimi's going to appear in there somewhere too.
The car, Ted Raimi, the car, and Bruce Campbell. Exactly. They all have to be in the movie. So look, we got to start going down the list. Who can Bruce Campbell play in a Doctor Strange movie?
He's another Doctor Strange.
See an alternate reality Doctor Strange.
he's
He's
an
got the
alternate
chops.
reality,
I could see that. I could see that.
He could be the Doctor Strange from that 70s Marvel TV movie. They just give him a perm, a perm wig.
So we will see. I don't know. I don't know who the villains are. Maybe he'll play some demon in hell or something like that, or I don't know. Bruce.
If he has if he has a boomstick, that'll be great.
Yeah, that'd be great. Hey, my dog is being an asshole. Talk amongst yourself about Bruce Campbell for a second.
Charlie, what's your favorite Bruce Campbell movie?
Well, in general, is going to be Army of Darkness. Like, that's really where I fell in love with the actor and stuff. But yeah, I followed him through Briscoe County Jr. I've followed him through like the Hudsucker Proxy. He was in there. I own a lot of movies with Bruce Campbell.
Burn Notice was amazing.
Yeah, I own all of Burn Notice too. I own all of Ash vs. the Evil Dead series. I have Bubba Hotep on Blu-ray. My Name is Bruce is a great movie that is underrated just because it's so wrong. And The Man with Two Brains. The Man with Two Brains is really, really cheesy sci-fi.
You know what's great about that Evil Dead series? Well, a lot of things, but the first one is legitimately creepy. The second one is legitimately a great horror comedy. And the third one is legitimately a great horror, like, action movie.
I knew when I came back, the wave file would just be Charlie's feed the entire time talking about Bruce Campbell.
Evan prompted him. I prompted him. Train.
I didn't know how long you'd be gone. I figured we should get on the dig deep.
Yeah. So I just started talking about different Bruce Campbell movies and series and that kind of stuff for a while. But no, like I was legitimately, so I liked the Ash vs. Evil Dead series that they did on Starz. I was really sad when it ended, especially because that's also when Bruce Campbell said he's done playing Ash. So even if there was some sort of revival and stuff at this point, he's kind of taken a stance of, I won't be playing this character anymore, which is too bad.
No, I can foresee them bringing about, like, somehow there's this next generation and all it is a tacky portrait of him in like somewhere where they're like,
oh, he will still get producer, because I mean they're still working on a new Evil Dead movie, and he'll still get like producer credit and be involved in that. He just won't be playing Ash in it, kind of thing. There was some video game recently though that actually added Ash to the game, and he did some voices for it.
Oh, the Yeah. The like the horror game where you can play Ash. He is one of the. It's like a new like Left 4 Dead style game.
Mortal Kombat?
No,
it's
Yeah, I can't remember the name of the game, but it's a new one. It's a new game where you're playing Ash and a bunch of other people.
Well,
anyway,
there's an Evil Dead game coming.
Bruce Campbell's amazing.
Yeah. There's been a couple of really good Evil Dead games, and unfortunately they're the kind of games that kind of came and went, but they all had one of my very first panels I ever went to at Comic-Con was Bruce Campbell promoting a new Evil Dead game, and that was back for the Dreamcast.
Oh, geez.
Apparently, there's a trailer that dropped in December. It's supposed to be out this year.
Yeah, it's like a multiplayer like Left 4 Dead. If I'm thinking of the right one, it's like a.
No, I think I'm seeing what Brock is talking about, but they added him as a playable character. It looks like for Dead by Daylight, if that's the name of the game.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
But there's another one that Brock is talking about, which, I hadn't seen. I know there was a mobile game in the works for a little while, but I don't know that I've seen this one specifically. But I've never actually been disappointed by a Evil Dead game.
Why would you?
And I've played quite a few of them so far. Well, because they did 2 way back when that were really fun to play through, and had Bruce Campbell voicing Ash, so I was happy.
We got more TV and movie news.
Oh no!
After multiple fake names were revealed by the actors, Spider-Man 3 finally has a name: Spider-Man Far From Home. Sorry, Spider-Man No Way Home. The sequel to Far From Home. Spider-Man No Way Home. There you go. I'm just reading the list, and it's like the one right above it. So there you go. Spider-Man No Way Home.
2018.
Yeah, not much. I mean, whatever. That's cool. There's like a shot of all these unused names, and I'm sure people are going to pull a bunch of stuff from the picture and use it for.
You guys seen the meme?
What one? Which one?
The one with the Drake, where he's like, "No" to Spider-Man Far From Home, and he goes, "Yes" to Aunt May Alone at Home.
Yes. I've not seen that, but yes.
I think the scary part is that Ryan knows what the Drake meme is.
Yeah, of course.
Well, Ryan is a millennial because he's always on the internet, day and night, morning and while he's sleeping. So yes, of course, he knows the Drake meme.
Of course.
He doesn't know any of his songs. I guarantee you that.
Oh yeah, no, never, no way. So No Way Home. A lot of people are, there's a lot of talk that this is going to tie in with Multiverse of Madness and more multiversey stuff. We'll see what happens. We also got some more news about Loki getting a premiere date of Friday, June 11th. So yeah, we're hauling ass straight from WandaVision Falcon to Loki a little bit after. Is What If in between?
No, May is vacant.
Okay, so nothing in May.
Unless it's Black Widow.
Well, okay, the movie. Well, sure. I mean, I still think it's going to come out. I just don't believe it's going to be only in theaters. But it could. I don't know. We'll see.
Well, I like how they say only in theaters for Spider-Man. They're saying only in theaters for everything. And everymu's just like, just release it already so we can watch it.
Yeah, I just don't believe it. So yeah, not much to say about Loki, but we got official dates. So yeah, we're gonna have again just regular and constant MCU stuff. So I hope you guys like it.
Yeah, you've got 3 after Wanda's over. You've got 3 shows and 4 movies this year in calendar 2021.
Yeah, I don't believe all. I just can't believe all of it will happen, but.
So I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think the Bad Batch series is going to fill some of the Star Wars animated. Like it seems like they're alternating or going to start alternating between like Star Wars series, Marvel series, Star Wars series, Marvel series.
I just want to see how they turn Peg from Married with Children into a princess.
So there's, my problem with Bad Batch is I need to go back and start at Clone Wars and go through the whole thing in chronological order. Because I watched some of it, I watched some of Rebels. I just need to do the whole thing in order. So that's going to be my next project.
Oh, God. Wait, you're going to do that before you watch Bad Batch?
Oh, yeah, I have to. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, Rebels was cool, but I knew I was missing stuff. I feel like Mandalorian works enough by itself. Yeah. I think the cartoons are way more connected to each other. So, speaking of more movies and TV, we had long wondered what Warner Brothers was going to do with Superman, and at least some version of Superman will appear at some point in a movie directed by someone, probably, but produced by J.J. Abrams and Bad Robot and written by Ta-Nehisi Coates. So there's a lot of people that assume this is going to be the President Superman or
Earth 23.
What is his name?
Michael Jordan.
I really wish I had it in front of me. Michael Jordan. Yes. No.
Michael Jordan is the basketball player.
Correct. Michael B. Jordan.
Michael B. Jordan.
Right. Superman, I will get his
Not Michael K.
name.
Gordon.
Valzad. That's his name. Valzad. Yes, Valzad. I knew I had his name. I just couldn't think of it. So that is the Earth 2 Superman. So that is a lot of people assume that. I don't know if they've officially said that either way.
Well, even the Michael B. Jordan is speculation.
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah, but I mean, I don't know that we know if this is going to be Clark Kent or Valzad or a different version entirely. There's no, unless I missed something.
No, it's only Abrams, Bad Robot, and Coates is all that's.
Yeah, and Superman.
Yeah.
So this very well could be This could be JJ, or this could be Snyder versus Superman, just by different people. We don't know.
You guys are both wrong. They did announce which Superman it is. It's going to be based on the Jean Yang Asian Superman.
Yeah, it could be.
Wait, are you being serious?
Absolutely not.
No.
Okay,
he's not.
Well,
they absolutely should have tipped me off. Yeah,
with Flash supposedly diving into the multiverse stuff. I mean, if they could bring multiversity into it.
Yeah. I don't whether they're going to do Henry Cavill, whether they're going to do multiverse. The Earth 2, or so Valzad was Earth 2, but are they put him on another Earth? No, he's Earth 2. He's Earth like 2. New 52 Earth 2.
Yeah, he's New 52 Earth 2. Yeah. The other one was the president one from Earth 23.
Yeah. So I think there's a lot of assumptions, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. And of course, I mean, with everything, this is 5 years out probably at this point, unless they're fast tracking.
Okay, let's get a betting pool going. We can't go an episode without one. What do you see first, this Superman movie or the Flash movie?
This Superman movie, absolutely.
The Flash movie.
Didn't they say like Flash starts production like next month or something?
Yeah. So Flash
I don't believe it, but
yeah, sure, Jan.
People are saying
the main reason why I'm going with the Flash movie is because to secure all the actors and stuff that have supposedly been secured for the Flash movie, that took money and contracts and that kind of stuff. So I expect we will see the Flash movie get made. Whether or not it will live up to any level of hype, or whether or not they'll be looking at these contracts and stuff and be like, we need to produce something now before these expire, I don't know. But
I mean, so the producer took a picture in front of a giant warehouse and for Flash, and it is believed that they have already started filming, or at least set up production. So Suicide Squad is August.
Yes.
Batman is March 2022. I believe these dates are all still accurate. I think
Batman
that's
is when?
March 2022. I think that's
2022. Okay.
Fair. Suicide Squad, of course, coming to HBO Max. Now they still have DC Super Pets on the schedule for May 20th, but I've not heard anything about that. I've not seen any stills. I don't know.
The Peacekeeper show is coming because I know that they were filming that.
Yeah, they've shown some stuff that's already in the works. Flash is November 4th, 2022. Aquaman 2 is December 16th, 2022. And you can throw those trash rumors on the side about Amber Heard being fired from Aquaman 2 because, of course, like everything else on the internet, totally false. And Shazam 2 is June 2nd, 2023. And yeah, as far as I know, Aquaman is like already in like early stages of something going on. So I think Flash is happening this time. I think with the biggest grain of salt, I think we'll see if it's November 4th, 2022, they should have something at Comic-Con. Because it would be a year and change. It would be a year and a half prior to Comic-Con. That's about when they start that's when they do the tease. we should get a Flash and Aquaman tease at this Comic-Con if they
didn't they do
Warner
a tease
Brothers
at
gonna do it.
Fandom?
But nothing, like, they didn't have any footage. They just showed the stuff.
Oh, you mean footage, actual footage. Okay.
Something, I feel like, or another Fandom or something like that. But I think they'll do something, because I feel like it's far enough out. But if they've done some work, we should get something, because if it's next Comic-Con, then that's just the trailer. That's just the thing's done. It's in the can. It's happening. If nothing is this Comic-Con, if nothing is New York Comic-Con, whatever those look like, whether it's all virtual or whatever, if we don't see like footage one of Flash this calendar year, then I don't know. They'll show us something. But yeah, Superman. I mean, Superman could be like end of 2023. They could haul ass on that thing and get it out really quick. I have no idea. Could be 2 years. We'll see. So many movies.
The question is,
so many TV shows.
Which movie are we watching for the first time back at theaters?
What's that?
What movie are we watching for the first time we're back in a theater?
I don't know. Whatever's there.
And the T-Rex.
I would be hard pressed to go to the theater this year. Things would have to improve. Was Eternal still scheduled for like November?
Yeah,
is that still the date? November something. That maybe Eternals could be, but that would be probably the earliest.
That would be you having the vaccine. Both doses or one dose of his Johnson.
I mean, that'd be everyone in the country having it, and everything is fine.
And a hazmat suit to go into the theater with.
Wait, Ryan, you're setting a standard there. Not everybody in the country is going to have it, just like not everybody gets a flu shot.
Everything is fine.
Okay.
It is basically, it's not gone, but it has been basically limited to severe cases in specific areas, and is not in any sort of outbreak or pandemic situation. No, fuck that. I'm not risking my life for fucking Eternals. Sorry.
You know what's hilarious?
Sorry, Eternals fans.
Is we have the new theater in Sunnyvale, in downtown Sunnyvale that's open.
Yeah,
I'm like literally a mile, like a half mile
right
from
down the
it.
street.
And it's like, I'm like, oh, I so want to walk to the movie theater and watch a movie, but I'm like,
I mean, look, whatever. I'm no problem. I'm not do whatever you want to do. It doesn't bother me.
Well, I get the shot tomorrow, so
you
today.
get the first one. Yeah. I mean, for me, Warner Brothers made it super easy for DC or for HBO Max. I have no reason to go to the movies for any of their stuff this year, so that's perfect. Definitely not for Black Widow if it's May. July, almost, I would say 99.9% no for July for Shang-Chi, if that's still happening in July. And I'd say 99.8% no for Eternals in November, December, whatever that is. Is there anything else this year? Is that everything? Is there something else I'm missing?
You've named all the Marvels.
Yeah. But Warner Brothers, DC, it's all on HBO Max, so I definitely don't have a reason to. I'm not against it. I would not want to take the risk. We'll see how things look post winter flu season next year. And I can't be alone in this, I assume.
I'm going my first opportunity.
Are you really?
Hell yes.
Kevin's like,
well, because you know what?
Roll that dice.
Because you pick your screening, you pick your physical circumstance. I think it can be done safely. I'm not saying I would do it in February, but I mean in November, 99.8% I'm in a theater.
Oh, okay.
I just hope
that Wonder Woman experience, dude, broke my soul. Not only because the movie sucked, but just the watching a premiere on television is just like, God, shoot.
Would it have been worse in the theater?
No, I think it would have been better because at least would have been a big spectacle. I wouldn't have been aware of, hey, I'm in lockdown, solitary confinement watching this on television. That was just kind of the extra twist of the knife.
What, you mean you didn't take your VR goggles and play on your
Ryan
phone
on
your face?
I'm with Ryan on this one. Like, for the most part, there are definitely movies that exist that I would have liked to have seen in the theater. Like Tenet would have been one I would have gone to go see in the theater if I was able and it was safe to do so. But there are very few movies I care enough to go see in the theater if I just have easy access to watch it at home.
Well, I think
Like it has to be a specific draw to a specific movie to get me to do that right now.
Well, I think with the pandemic and people staying home and not going out to movie theaters and being safe, I think there is some small market for re-releasing these things in the theater when everybody can go back.
Oh, yeah,
right?
Of course.
You know, not that I would go see Wonder Woman in the theater, but there was a high chance that if I really enjoyed a movie, I would go want to see the experience, at least of it being on the big screen. So, so 22, you're going to see Tenet in IMAX again.
Yeah, they should just reissue everything, even if it's for a limited amount of time. I mean, imagine if you had just killer movie in every screen. Maybe only 1 or 2 screens at most. You don't need 14 screens splitting the same thing. But yeah, they have a ton of movies that they can put back in theaters, and it would do great. But yeah, no, I will go to the theater as much as I ever do. I'm not going to go for everything. There's, especially if some of it's on TV and I'm feeling very meh about it. Pixar and some of the Disney animated stuff, a lot of that, I have no need to see that in theater. But the Marvel movies, Star Wars, something like Dune, yeah, of course, I'd love to see it in the theater, but it not yet. We'll see. We shall see. But we do have stuff we have watched. We are going to talk about WandaVision and the second to final episode of WandaVision and the first episode of Superman and Lois. And I think I'm going to start with Superman here because it is the beginning. We're almost at the end of WandaVision. So if people want to check out for that, they can not hear any spoilers. But we are going to talk full spoilers here for Superman and Lois. And we're going to start that now. Anyone not see it? Everyone saw it?
I didn't watch it.
Okay. Kevin, did you watch it?
Gosh, I'm hesitant to answer this. I watched about half of it and then I realized it wasn't for me.
Wait, what?
Are you talking about Superman?
Yeah.
Yeah. Not for me. So I can comment on the first half.
Okay.
That's it.
That would not have been my prediction.
I think you just broke Toby's brain.
I'm super confused. More than super confused.
Yeah.
I don't watch Superman with kids. I'm just not interested.
But
if other people enjoy it, great. That's why they make chocolate and vanilla. There's variants for everybody's taste. That's just not my taste. I don't like it in comics. I don't like it on TV. I just don't like it as a concept.
I mean, that's fair.
Yeah, that's all.
I mean, I thought the show absolutely blew everyone's expectations out of the water.
Hey, the production quality was outstanding. Just the physical production was amazing for a pilot.
Yeah. You're as close to a negative thing as I've heard.
No, it's not negative. It's just not. I'm not.
Yeah.
It's not bad. It's just not a concept that I enjoy. It would be the same thing if they did a Liberty Bell show. I don't know. Nothing against that character. I'm just not interested.
Dude, watch a Liberty Bell show. Shut the fuck up. What are you talking about?
Okay, I'm reaching for some example.
Lobo. Are you a Lobo fan?
Oh, okay, there. Well, no, that I actually dislike. Well, let's not waste time coming up with the perfect analogy for this.
Anyway, yeah, I think, I mean, I know me and Toby talked a little bit off, and Toby and Charlie talked, but I think we're in the same boat. I mean, I thought the pilot was absolutely incredible. Production budget wise, just tonally, for people that maybe aren't feeling the Snyder version of Superman. That shot of the Golden Age costume at the very beginning was just, it kind of is a little on the cheesy side, but it totally
actually
fit.
It's the Fleischer costume.
Yeah, sure, right, yeah.
which was great.
Wait. Was that a sarcastic great?
No, I thought that was really cool.
Okay, I was like, then I really don't know Kevin.
See, Toby just can't tell anymore at this point, Kevin. You've just...
Yeah, I was like, wait, everything I know is not real anymore now.
Toby, that first 5 minutes was my favorite part of everything I saw.
In the entire world?
Of that show, that episode.
I just agree with the thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm a little surprised, but I guess we'll just go with it.
Seriously, I thought this is going to be a everybody in agreement thing. Rock not watching it, so
finally, I'm not the weirdo. I'm not the one. I'm not the one on the.
You're still the weird. You're still the weirdo.
I'm just a little flabbergasted. That's all.
Yes, I don't know exactly where they're going to go with these takes, with the stake on the character, with the kids. We have Jonathan in the comics. We do not have, what is his name? Jordan. But
technically we have Jordan in the comics and we don't have Jonathan.
Sure. Maybe we'll get doubled up. I mean, I don't know how. So I haven't seen episode 2, so I have no idea tonally if this changes, if it stays similar style, if the production budget's better or worse. I don't know. So I haven't seen the second episode, but I kind of was waiting for it to become a CW Arrowverse show, and it never did. It very much plays up like the modern drama style that's very common in a lot of shows, and the film quality and production quality. I love what you mentioned, the Fleischer cartoons. They do a few of those shots where it's like, they do this all the time, obviously, but there was at least one shot that I felt really tried to emulate that, like the 50s Superman, where he like flies down and it's the CG version, and then he turns into the person and sort of does like the run step kind of. I felt like there was a lot of homages to previous versions of Superman in this first episode. Obviously, not small references and obviously very much Christopher Reeve style, bumbling in the office when he first meets Lois. So I thought they did a very good job of playing up those the what we've known of Superman, the different variations, but doing it in a fun kind of all-star Superman way, where it very quickly goes through these points in his early life, and now we're at a very different spot. I thought it was incredible. It's just different.
They did an amazing job with a lot of what they did. I did have a question, just because I don't know if I'm not remembering fully.
No, I think
they had the kids in Crisis, right?
Yes.
So
they have them. They're like kids.
Yeah. So did Crisis age them up, or did this series take place years in the future compared to the other Arrowverse shows?
I don't know.
I think everybody's asking this.
And I don't. It just does not feel like a show where Stephen Amell is going to roll up, right?
No.
I don't.
But I mean, so we know Supergirl is ending this year.
Yeah.
But if I recall, that actress also signed an agreement with WB Television to remain sort of attached. I don't know that it's specifically to do appearances of Supergirl in these shows, but she's not going anywhere in terms of that production.
Okay.
So that's part of the reason why I'm curious. I'm curious to see, does she pop up as a reoccurring character sometimes on this show? Is like, there's a lot of aspects of this where, because of the way things were left at the end of Crisis, and because of the way things are currently in terms of the shows, because I mean, they keep announcing little crossovers in a way. Like they canceled crossovers, and then they keep acknowledging like some characters from Arrow are going to appear on this show, and
Yeah, they said no big crossover.
Yeah, but this year they were already talking about doing like the small crossover, like between Batwoman and Supergirl, and then they scrapped like that stuff. So it seems to be they're still going to have some of these sort of characters crossing over between the shows, but not necessarily like a full on part one on this show, part two on that show kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I really like this show. I really like the fact that it stands apart from the other Arrowverse shows very well. But I'm also curious to see, does it stand apart because they don't plan to utilize it as part of the shared universe, but more as a future look of that universe or something like that?
Yeah.
I also want to know about, sorry, I'm just going to keep going because this is where my brain's having fun. So the Luthor in this show, I got the impression, is a survivor from Crisis.
I that's what it feels like, but we don't know.
Well, assuming this is still the same Supergirl universe, we know Luthor from that. So he's either a survivor from some other world in the multiverse or from Crisis.
Yeah. No, it makes sense that he's it seems, unless we don't know something, that what do they call him? General Luthor, is that his name?
Mm-hmm.
Is that what he calls himself?
Or Captain Luthor, something like that.
Captain Luthor, yeah. That'd be cool. I totally misheard him the first time. I thought he said Zod. I think my brain was just thinking Zod the whole time, even though it looks like Luthor's like suit. I thought I heard him say Zod, and I was like, wait, did he say Zod? He's like, no, Luthor. Like it's a little hard to hear. So
no, I really like I love the family dynamic, and I also like the fact that as much as this sort of mirrors some of the family dynamic from the Tomasi Superman run, it's very different.
Yeah.
Like even the current state of Clark Kent and Superman and Lois are not the same state they were in like that Tomasi run. It's
No.
I am very, very, very interested to see where they go with this particular story, because for good or bad, it feels really fresh. Like it's not trying to capture this feel of this comic run or something like that. They just sort of tapped into an idea of what they could do with the Superman character, and it feels like its own take.
Yeah. It doesn't feel. I think if you never saw the Arrowverse stuff, if you came in just fresh to this, I think you're 100% fine. I don't think they can obviously acknowledge stuff down the road, but I don't. As a pilot, I think you're totally. It's its own thing. It's not trying to be part of the bigger Arrowverse or even.
Well, but what I mean is, most of the time when I not read a comic, but watch one of these shows, I can kind of tie it back to okay, this kind of feels like it's pulling from this tone or this story, or like you can't watch the Flash show and not feel how heavily influenced it was by some of what Jeff Johns was doing with the Flash at the time, obviously. And like with Arrow, the same kind of thing. Like you sit there and you're kind of like, okay, that's pulling from some of the year one stuff, that's pulling from this run, that's pulling from that run. And they've done an amazing job sort of taking a lot of these characters and almost bringing them from the page to the screen. Amongst, like, Legends of Tomorrow is the only show that kind of feels like I can't put that in a particular category like that. This show feels like they've taken Superman and these characters from the page very successfully to the show, but the show itself doesn't feel like it's coming from the pages of any comic.
Yeah,
if that makes sense.
It's very much doing its own thing with the second kid, and them moving back. It takes maybe elements of that from the Tomasi run, but of them moving back to Smallville. But again, they've done that in the comics. That's not like the newest thing. It's not like the most original story, but it's definitely it's more drama than I maybe expected, but it's not like teen angsty CW drama. I mean, it definitely feels like this falls more like, this is closer to like This Is Us than than Arrow or Flash.
Yeah, and that's one of the sort of feedbacks that I've heard from some people. They watch like the Arrowverse shows and stuff, and they've never gone out of their way to like suggest that to family members and that stuff to watch that. But because this is more grounded in the family dynamic and with the teenagers and all that, it became a show that they felt like they could suggest to family members, which was interesting.
Toby, give me your quick hits there.
Yeah. I really, really liked it, and I was thoroughly surprised. When they announced the show, I didn't think much of it. I kind of lost my interest with the Arrowverse as much as I like all the people attached to it and all the people involved in it. But after Crisis, I kind of more or less lost interest. I kind of moved on from the show. Again, at least I enjoy all the people that are involved with the show, but for me, after Crisis, the Arrowverse kind of ended, right? So I needed that new jolt, the new kind of like the new generation, so to speak. I was really surprised that I think this is that new jolt for me. Like this is the nice little soft reboot. This is the nice little what we have as new number ones, new volumes, the number ones. This is kind of my new volume 2 of the Arrowverse start. Like I feel like this is where the new generation of the next set of Arrowverse start shows is going to be. So I really, really, really liked it. I as much as I like Tyler, he's not necessarily my favorite Superman, but man, he definitely brought one of my favorite versions of Superman to screen at this point. They homage so many things in the show. For me, doing a good Superman story was always do something bigger than Superman, and it's something that I wanted to see since Superman Returns, the Brandon Routh one. And when they first explained the story in that one, in my head I saw a completely different movie than the one that came out. So ever since I wanted to see a Superman movie like this, and I say movie, this felt like a movie. So I know I was floored actually. The only thing I didn't like was the silly fight with Lex Luthor or Colonel whatever, Captain Luthor. I thought that's the only thing in the show that actually made it seem like semi cheap. But you have to have a little action in the show. I thought it was really interesting to turn Smallville into kind of like a Fresno or something like that. It has a little dirt on it at this point. It's not the picture Smallville that it used to be, and I thought that was a really nice touch because it leads to a lot more stories. And I think that's the first time I've seen it that way, or at least them approaching it this way. The teenage girl and the two boys, it feels like a throwback to the Smallville stuff, which I thought that was like a nice touch. It's like almost like this is the new Smallville, this is the new updated teen drama in that end, while we also keep like all the adult stuff in there too. So I thought that was a nice balance. Them splitting Jordan and Jonathan into two characters, I thought worked really well. It, like Charlie said earlier, it kept everything super fresh. And I'm really excited to see where this is going. I think this might be my favorite version of Lois. I think I was talking to you, Ryan, about it.
Yeah, she's good. She's really good. I'm sorry, I'm horrible at her name. Let me find it.
I just remember her from all the TV commercials.
Tulloch, Bitsy Tulloch.
Yeah,
Elizabeth.
Yeah,
Elizabeth Tulloch.
Yeah,
Bitsy. What? I don't. Is she not credited as that? Is it? No, Elizabeth Tulloch.
I honestly don't know. I wasn't.
I was like Bitsy.
So yeah.
Oh, she was in Grimm.
Yeah, and she's in a bunch of commercials too. But I actually think she's my favorite Lois. I was talking to you, Ryan. Like I think like the classic Lois is the one from the Superman movies. Oh Jesus,
Margaret Kidder.
Yeah, Kidder's. I think that's the classic. Even though she's like the classic, she was never my favorite. Terry Hatcher was cool. The Smallville was the hot one. But this one, this one I just genuinely like. I think she's like I think she's my favorite Lois out of all the versions, not counting the cartoon one. For you, not counting the Bruce Timm, Paul Dini stuff. But yeah, no, I think she's probably the best version that I think is on screen. And yeah, I feel like the first thing I thought was, man, this is so good. The only thing I didn't like was, man, this is going to cancel a need for a Superman movie. And of course, 2 days later, now it's
like the next day.
like,
Yeah.
Okay, so, but yeah, no, I really, really, really like this. And Kevin, I think you should take a second look at it. What exactly do you have against Superman with having kids? Is it the whole Kevin Smith theory that his demon should just like rip right through Lois? Or
No. I just
like I was like, is it something that you can't cope with? Like that's not possible.
no. It's nothing like that. It's just not my. I don't mind Superman and Lois being married, but I would just stop it there. That's all.
I guess I'll poke you over more beers.
Sure, that's fine.
Yeah.
And to be look, just I tried, you guys. I watched like the first 25 minutes and I stopped, and I came back the next day. I'm like, okay, I'm going to knock this out. I got 10 more minutes. I'm like, I'm just done.
Wow. Okay. I'm just thoroughly surprised. I thought the drama was really well done. The writing is really well done. The way they shot it made it look very much more expensive than it really is. So, no, I'm like all back in. Like I was kind of 1 foot out, even though I was a big fan of all the people involved and really like what they did. I was kind of a foot out, but I think I'm 2 feet all the way back in. If that makes any sense.
So I have a semi-random question now for Ryan or Brock, I think. So I have not read anything in terms of the Jurgens Batman Beyond from like Rebirth and stuff. Did they ever do anything with Jonathan in that?
Say that again.
So I was just thinking in terms of Batman Beyond, they had the older Superman and stuff in the
Batman
series.
Beyond.
Yeah. I'm just curious, with the Jurgens run that came out of Rebirth, the Batman Beyond series there, did they ever do anything with Jonathan in that series?
I don't know. I did not read enough of it. I don't think so. I don't remember him. I don't remember seeing like covers or solicitation or anything like that.
Yeah,
but I only read the first few.
I was just curious if Kevin would have an easier transition in like a setting like Batman Beyond with sort of the offspring of Superman and Lois and that kind of stuff, or not, which is where my brain went with this. Is it sort of the, if they were no longer kids or teenagers?
You like Damian?
Yeah, but that's Robin. You see what I mean? It's like it's not a copy of Batman. I just feel like the more we're getting off the topic here, but I just feel like I don't want to hear the words Flash family, Superman family, Batman family, because the more, and I'm not talking about Robin and Batgirl, I'm talking about like the more copies of the main character there are, the less unique that main character is. So I used to love when Superboy was not the son of Superman, when it was teenage Superman, like with the Legion. That's all cool.
I feel like we just crossed over into the Crisis conversation about needing to wipe out all these characters.
Well, I think unfortunately you more than lost this battle, Kevin, because they're going.
I know it's long lost. Yeah,
they're going
lost
on like
in 1985.
They're going on like third generations now. Generations,
and so that's what I'm saying. If people like that, then great. There's iterations with all this multiverse for every taste.
Yeah, that's fair.
So I can just choose the ones that I like, and everybody else chooses the ones they like, and we all get along.
Well,
I absolutely love the fact that we basically went all the way back to basically having the justification for the first Crisis on Infinite Earths. That's amazing.
Like I'll end it on this. Like I always felt Superman should deal with bigger things than him, and with Superman Returns, I thought it was going to be a world that didn't want him. This is like, fatherhood, and I feel like for this character, being a father really works because like his father, his family was such a, and Smallville was such a big thing for him that always gets referenced, that now that he's in a position to influence the next generation and his own kids, I thought that was a really interesting take. And I mean, look, I didn't read a lot of the Pac Leeson Tomasi run, which I really, really want to. But I really, really like this take. And I think because I didn't know where it's going to go. So yeah, I'll leave it at that.
Well, we will move on to WandaVision. I don't expect we'll talk about Superman every episode, but we'll happily jump in from time to time.
We totally will.
I remember when we said we don't think we'd talk about WandaVision every episode.
WandaVision, yeah, definitely a little bit of a different thing.
Can I start WandaVision, please?
Yeah.
Can I? I like to tell stories.
Well, hold on, and again. Oh, yes. Oh, I forgot we have a whole story. But yeah, full spoilers also for WandaVision here. But yes, Toby, why don't you tell your half of the story, and then I'll tell my half of the story.
The story starts even sooner than you think it does, Ryan Higgins. All right, this goes many years back, as in a couple of weeks, where I totally got spoiled by one of these Facebook posts, and I was smart about it because I know I didn't watch it yet, and I was like, I will not go on the Comic Conspiracy Facebook group. I will not go to any of the comic ones. When I look, I'm just going to look at the sports stuff. And it was one of those bloody, stupid cosmic book news, whatever sites with a sponsored link saying, spoiler, Pietro's in the show, right? From the X-Men. I'm like, motherfucker. Like, I stayed away from every single thing, Twitter, all of it. And it's a sponsored clickbait headline that spoiled it for me. And I was very, very angry. So I got a little smarter about it because I decided to start watching WandaVision for breakfast. So I started watching it for breakfast, and I'm like, I'm in the clear. I won't get spoiled anymore. So Ryan calls me and goes, "Have you watched the show?" I'm like,
I call you at not like 8:00 at night or 9:00 at night.
Oh, yeah, it was pretty late.
I was on my way home.
Yeah,
I had not watched it yet.
Yeah, Ryan says like, "God damn it. This is so annoying. Like, you got spoiled, right?" So Ryan tells me on how he got spoiled, and he goes on and on and on and on and on about it. And I'm like, that doesn't sound right at all, because whatever he's talking about is not in the show at all, right? I'm like, Ryan, I don't know what you're thinking you got spoiled on, but just go watch the show, and then we'll talk after you watch it. So Ryan calls me out of the show and goes, I think you missed something. And then I followed it up with, well, after I talked to you, Charlie and Kevin started talking about it as well. Yes, I totally missed something.
Oh, this is the when I said the thing about the comics that were going up in value.
Yes. So Ryan called me, I need to add eBay to like spoiler pages because eBay is spoiling for me now, right? And this whole time I'm like, West Coast Avengers. And this is now I'm like, bloody White Vision was not in the show. He was not. What's Ryan talking about? Ryan's full of like, he's not in the show. Ryan, go watch the damn episode and tell me what you think you got spoiled on, right? And after he hangs up, you go on about it. I'm like, what the fuck is Kevin talking about? And I think that was on a group thread with you, myself, and Charlie. And Charlie separately hits me up afterwards going, have you not seen the mid-credit scene? I was like, oh, that would make a lot more sense at this point.
Yeah, so I'm at work. I have avoided spoilers all day. I mute WandaVision, Vision, Mephisto, X-Men. I just mute every possible thing that could show up on social media. I mute it all. I don't look at the Facebook groups. I don't look at my news feed. I don't read anything. It's like 10 minutes to closing. I've been pricing comics all day. And I come across in the stack, West Coast Avengers. It's at the end of the stack of stuff I'm going through. And it's issue number 1. Again, it's like a $10 book. It's nothing fancy. But like most books, I check on eBay just to see, maybe something spiked. Look at the guide, look at an online pricing guide. I kind of look at a few different things. That's why I always do this. And I was like, all right, West Coast Avengers 1 sold auctions. And I look it up and I'm like, on eBay, of course, West Coast Avengers 1 will also pull up West Coast Avengers first 1ST because 1 is part of that number, that thing. So what do I see but hundreds of completed auctions for in the last 12 hours for the first appearance of White Vision. And I'm like scrolling through this list and I'm like,
West Coast Avengers 45, baby.
Well, I think I know what this is about because this book was $1 like, 2 weeks ago. Okay. Well, that sucks. So I called Toby on the way home and I'm like, Toby, you watched WandaVision, right? He's like, yeah, I watched it this morning. I'm like, all right. I tell him this whole story and he's like, maybe you should go watch the episode. And so I watch it and I get to the mid-credits scene and I'm thinking, I turn to Leanne and I go, I don't think Toby watched the mid-credits scene. I don't think he knew there was one. It's totally White Vision in this episode. And I call Toby and Toby's like, God damn son of a-" like he had already figured it out by the time I got back to him.
Well, the funny thing is, like, Kevin goes on about the same bloody thing, right?
Well, but so Toby said, I watched it for breakfast, and I said, I almost got spoiled by all these articles about the White Vision comics going in value. I'm so glad I watched it first. Aren't you glad we all saw it first? It's like, I think I missed something. Like, welcome to the novel concept of the Marvel mid-credits scene.
Yeah, here's the funny thing, right? Honestly, if Ryan didn't call me, we probably would have this discussion right now with me going, "What the fuck?" Like,
I really think when I was watching it, and I was kind of thinking to myself, like, maybe the White Vision's not in this, and they see the dissected Vision, and I was like, maybe that's what people are thinking, like
you remember, Ryan, when I was on the phone with you, I was like, if you're referring to that scene, that happened already in the previous episode. Why are you nuts about it now? Like,
So yeah, when I'm watching it, I'm like, maybe they're. I was just like, Toby didn't tell me White Vision is not in this. He just hinted that I wasn't right on something, and so I was just like, oh, maybe he's not in this. And to get to the end, and I'm like, oh no, that's totally 100% White Vision. Like, that's not even a question. Like what the hell did Toby do? Like, he didn't watch this. He totally missed the mid-credits scene. So. Well, yeah, it was a very, very funny series of conversations. And of course I spoil it for Toby 12 hours after he, thinking he had seen the whole episode.
Yeah. So thanks a lot for spoiling it after thinking.
Yeah. So I've given up. I'm just going to watch it at midnight. I have to. I just can't do this anymore. Like, I just can't go the whole day.
You're going to stay up until midnight?
Yeah, it's my day off on Thursday, so I can take a few naps in the middle of the day and stay up late.
Here's what happened.
Yeah,
it's gonna be
I will be the first one to admit that I can't blame you for that, just because.
Yeah,
I've been pretty good about not getting spoiled on stuff, but I've been very aware every Friday morning. I see a bunch of headlines showing me, okay, the internet has exploded over WandaVision again.
Yeah.
I need to just not pay attention to this till I get a chance to watch
it. And people will come into the store, and I for this one, I don't feel like Falcon Winter Soldier is going to be kind of like this. I think it's going to be a fun show, but
at midnight, you can wake up earlier in the morning and just watch it.
Yeah, that's what I did, Brock. And then
Leanne wakes up at noon on her days off, okay?
No, but you
watch it with Leanne. We're gonna stay up and watch it. Leanne gets up at noon on her days off, so I'll be at work.
Oh, Ryan, this is what happened. This is what happened with me. I'm like, I'm not gonna get bloody spoiled, so I watch it for breakfast. But as I watch it for breakfast, I see the text coming through, going, "We need this, we need that" at work. I'm like, okay, only 5 more minutes. Okay, only 2 more minutes. Okay, I'm done out, right? So,
you know what helps? You know what helps to keep you the spoiler free? Is not being on Twitter, but hey, I don't really have a choice.
No, but it becomes everything. It's not on Twitter, not on Facebook, not on my RSS feeds. Not talking to customers. I mean, it basically, sure, if I just turn off the internet and don't leave my house, if I don't turn on the computer and look at my phone or anything, I mean, yes, you can avoid everything, but that's not the world I live in. I got spoiled on eBay. Like, I'm not looking at anything.
So how did you like their version of A Christmas Carol?
Yeah, it was a good episode. Yeah, I think it's funny that her dad was like a. Oh, I was gonna say bootleg, but not even bootleg. Like those weren't even like some like janky ass bootleg DVDs you buy in the streets of, like New York City. Like he was hawking like legit Region 1 DVDs. Like that's
he's like early Rasputin.
He's like he must have imported those or something like that.
Oh yeah, they were in pristine condition.
Yeah, it's like selling blue jeans or something. So yeah, that was a little goofy, but no, I mean it totally worked, and it does set Agatha Harkness up a little bit and a little less menacing than she is in that first episode. She comes off pretty evil right away. But
I was super happy that the whole idea of like the big bad reveal, it wasn't Wanda, blah blah blah. I'm very glad this episode established it was Wanda. This wasn't.
I don't know what you're, Charlie. Mephisto's right around the corner, man. What about that store?
One more episode.
Just wait.
Just one more episode to get through.
You might gawk at the
and then
stork
I
and
will
make
be
fun
able.
of it. But he's Mephisto. Watch.
Release the stork cut.
Well, wait. Do we even talk about that? There's going to be 2 versions of Snyder's Justice League cut.
Yeah. Whatever. We'll talk about that some other time. Yeah. No. Right. Again, I don't know how people get to this point of the show and they're like, Scarlet Witch is not the bad guy of the show. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? Yes, she is. They're not mutants. They explicitly said they are not mutants in this episode. She has like magical fucking powers. The word mutant is never left anyone's mouth. Like, I don't know how people can.
They gave us the Green Arrow episode, right, where they finally say Green Arrow, right? Because for a long time on the Arrow show, they never said Green Arrow until like a certain point in the show, and this was them kind of, they said nope, you're the Scarlet Witch, like bam.
I like that.
It was.
That actually worked. I thought that was okay.
Yeah. I think Agatha's still I don't know, slightly evil an evil person. Like,
yeah, she's definitely has ulterior motives, but she's not like doing this or causing bad things to happen.
Well, she killed the dog.
Is still yeah, but I mean,
she's not responsible for that. She's not responsible for the bubble. She's not responsible for what's going on with everybody in the town and out surrounding it. She's coming to figure out what is going on.
Yeah, no one's like mind controlling Wanda to do all this stuff. She's doing all of this of her own accord.
In fact, most what they've shown Agatha doing was trying to prod Wanda to face reality in some form to better understand what was going on, considering this was beyond traditional magic users' abilities.
Yeah. She's trying to find out what the extent of her powers is, how to can she control her? Can she get her to stop? I mean, we don't have a clear, I think, answer of what she's really here to do. But in the comics, I mean, she sort of trains Wanda. So I see them kind of getting there in a roundabout way, setting her up as kind of like a faked out bad guy. But but she's more
like Stick,
kind of helpful. Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Because I mean, that character
is kind of an asshole, but
yeah, he's kind of an asshole. He has like a history, but he's just trying to help and because I mean, even Agatha's backstory is kind of, she was curious, she wanted to learn more. And everyone's like, no, you've done this horrible thing, you're evil, and she's like, I was just curious, like there's a kind of a dual thing there, but depending on which way they want to go with that. I think that the character's set up to either A, be something that is a villain character, or B, something that is a support character. Yeah.
So I have basically stayed away from any forums or anything where this show is discussed. I have no idea if 100 people are already placing their bets on this, but I will add my bet to it if so. I think the big shocking or not shocking, the big surprise cameo in the last episode. After this episode, it changed my mind on everything. I think it's got to be a character from one of the sitcoms who she manifests, because Mephisto, Magneto, Nightmare, Doctor Strange, those are all plot payoffs. I could see that in the mid-credits, like to set up another adventure, like the Doctor Strange movie. But as far as inside the show, because now after watching this Secret Origin episode, where we really get it underlined that the arc of this character in the MCU is a woman, well, a girl, and then later a woman who can't get out from under grief and trauma.
Yeah.
And so you're not going to have a witch fight as the big climax of the show. You might have a Vision fight, but I think that at some point you're going to get a manifestation of, because they've certainly showed it over and over, what gave her comfort through all of her traumas. What gave her comfort? Childhood, like her time at Hydra, her time at the Avengers, was these, for lack of a better word, fake families. I think my bet is on a character from one of those shows, and depending how far you go, some of them are still alive, those actors, depending how
Dick
far.
Van Dyke could totally.
Oh, yeah. Well, he
out.
was just in Mary Poppins.
Yeah, he's still alive.
So he's got a connection to Disney even.
Yeah, a very big connection.
And whether you have the Dick Van Dyke of right now, or you have Dick Van Dyke mocapped to look like the black and white version from the 60s, whatever, whether it's him, somebody else. See, Mephisto is, again, a plot twist. Dick Van Dyke or somebody from the Brady Bunch or something like that is a character and theme payoff, not just a plot payoff. That's where I think they're going with it. And I will own it next week. If I'm 100 light years wrong, I'll own it next week. And it's all the stork.
See, I'm just having fun going. If they don't do that now, I'm going to be disappointed.
Yeah, no, that sounds 100% likely.
I'm going to add on to it, Kevin. You're going to be right, but Dick Van Dyke's going to turn into Mephisto, and he was the stork originally. See?
And the rabbit. And the rabbit.
No, the rabbit. Yeah, like she talked to the rabbit. Like, what the hell?
But I'm just, my argument is, what's going to be the thing? You're not just going to have magical bolts flying around. What's going to be the thing at her darkest hour that finally comes through for her?
Yeah. Well,
it's the people, the quote unquote people who've been there for her all along.
Yeah, I think the Vision fight is basically guaranteed because we have two Visions, right?
So that's the plot payoff.
That's right. Yeah. No, I totally like that. That sounds way more likely than again, all these characters that will be in other movies, sure, they could show up in a mid-credit scene as like a cameo for the next thing. Yeah,
Doctor Strange goes, "Come with me. We've got something to do." Whatever.
Yeah. That's totally possible. But I just don't. It doesn't affect the story as it is, because they're not just going to have some random character roll up in the last minute to save the day. That's not how this stuff works. You know, that works in comic books to a degree.
I'm just wondering if the White Vision and all the speculation, all of that, will actually be in it past the next episode. And what I mean by that is, could easily have him go through the bubble and change the way he looks like everybody else has.
I mean, I would expect he'll be sent in and we'll get the big Vision fight, and
but what I'm saying
she'll freak out and destroy both of them.
Everybody who's gone through the bubble, their appearance has changed.
Mm-hmm.
Every single character, which means if they send the White Vision in there, for Wanda to make it fit her world, I could absolutely see it just being a Vision on Vision fight, but them both looking like her Vision.
Yeah,
which
I'm not sure what they're going to do.
I'd be curious to see what that would do to speculators if White Vision was in like 10 minutes of Marvel show and that's it.
I wonder if after this show is over, we have a Vision in the MCU at all.
Yeah.
I could see it with the White Vision, just with the personality. I mean, he could be robot evil Vision for a while if they want to. Like, he could totally show up in, I don't know, Ant-Man or something, or Armor Wars or something as like the bad guy. But I feel like Vision's kind of been put through the ringer. I would not mind him and Scarlet Witch coming out of this a little bit better. And again, same thing. this show does not lend itself to Scarlet Witch being the big bad in Doctor Strange. I don't get that coming out of the way this show. It would be very disappointing if the show ends unresolved, where she's like, "Yeah, I'm a fucking psychopath and a bad guy now. Goodbye." Like that's not a very satisfying ending to the story. So yeah, I'm very hopeful that every fan theory is just wildly off.
Well, I think that because I mean, I brought up the fact that like, how did she find where the body was? What happened? Right, so on and so forth. And we got that little kind of cut together thing where it looked like she was storming in and stealing his body and stuff like that. And that's
the sword guy, like,
yeah, no, he doctored it, and that's the thing is like,
or like not doctored it, but he selectively showed.
Yeah. He and so it's like seeing this past episode and seeing what like the grief she's going through, like all of that stuff, and just, you know, she's angry, she's gonna lash out, like that's part of the stages of grief. But again, like you see, like, I mean, I think that's just her breaking point was, you know, the future that he had planned, right? With the deed to the house and all that stuff. Like, I think that was like her breaking point, and that's where she kind of had a breakdown, which manifested as something that was, like you said, Kevin, comforting to her, right? The sitcom. So she, instead of watching the sitcom, she made the sitcom, right? She made her life like something that has been comfort for her for a long time.
So, Kevin, you are not alone in your theorizing of Dick Van Dyke.
No, I'm not saying Dick Van Dyke specifically.
Well,
somebody from one of those shows who got there.
The cameo. I mean, a number of people are. Mary Sue called it out as Dick Van Dyke will be the big cameo on WandaVision. I mean, it's not a spoiler. Like, that is their call. They're like, they have an article, but this goes back. Yeah. So you are not the only person, but
I didn't think I was the only person. I just think that it makes sense.
Yeah.
Thematically.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. And that's actually a really good, it's a really good, it's a really good take. So, and yeah, the comments where people, are like, yeah, it's not going to be Magneto or Professor X or some nonsense. It's going to be Dick Van Dyke, and people are going to be pissed, right?
People are going to be pissed because they just want, again, the Stan Lee quote. Here we go again. I'm going to bring it up every time. Never give the fans what they think they want. Fans think they want this to be a backdoor X-Men pilot. No, you don't want that.
No. This was in works before, I think, even the Fox complete merger was complete. So this is not something where I want like a backdoor X-Men thing, because we never established this Wanda or this MCU Wanda as a mutant. She's just had powers that seem to be influenced and by the Mind Stone, right?
Yeah. Well, and we could all be wrong.
Well, I like it. I think it's a good theory.
It was the Mind Stone all along.
Well, it makes sense. I think. I would think a Doctor Strange cameo in like the post credit is very likely, right? Just to lead into Doctor Strange. I guess technically Spider-Man would be next, right? Isn't Spider-Man?
Oh yeah, Spider-Man is first. Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know. I mean, it doesn't seem to make a lot of sense for Spider-Man to show up in this movie. But there is a character reason for Doctor Strange to be there, to be like, oh fuck, Agatha Harkness is back. Crap, Wanda, you have to come with me. I have to train you. We have to get the shit figured out because the magicians are going nuts.
Just keep in mind, for any cliffhanger, I think the release date of that Doctor Strange movie is next April.
Yeah.
So you're going to have Wanda on ice for essentially 13 months.
Yeah, a year and change. Yeah.
So hopefully it won't be some, Wanda, you got to come with me right away. Because the tension of that scene is going to be dissipated quite significantly.
No, see, what's going to happen is she's going to be in a bar, and he's going to come in and start talking to her, right?
A bar?
Yeah. because that's where they have the cameo, right? It's the bar scene at the end of Iron Man.
That was a Cheers reference.
Could be too.
Walks in, Steven. Yeah, other than that, it's a good episode. We get some actual backstory on Wanda and
now has the internet exploded on what the female thing that she saw when she was enthralled by the Mind Stone?
Yeah, that is her, right? There's a hell of a lot that they have to get through in this last episode.
Yes.
So we have
hopefully it's not a Matrix 3 fiasco.
Well, we have whatever Agatha Harkness's like overall plot here is.
Yep.
We have whatever the Scarlet Witch is. I mean, they kind of go into it in this, but obviously she will become the Scarlet Witch by the end of this. We have whatever's going on with the kids, and I fully expect the kids to just vanish at the end of the episode, just like they do in the comics. I mean, maybe they'll age them up, maybe they'll stick them around. I don't know, but I would expect the kids will just poof back, and that's the Mephisto link that everyone's looking for. But again, I don't
catch that. Pietro calls them hellspawns.
Yeah. Of course, there's a bunch of this, but again,
it's just a line, right? But I kind of enjoy it, and also right after she says something about kick-ass, which the two people come from. So I kind of like the little winks, the little nod.
Yeah. Post-credit scene, Mephisto sitting there with the kids. Sure, but again, not a major plot point of the final episode. We haven't seen what's her name like at all in like multiple episodes. Monica Rambeau. So like she's barely been in it. We have that entire plot. So yeah, this has to be like an hour-long episode. What's that?
Her last scene was at the basement when Pietro came up behind her.
Which was the episode before this last week's episode. So she's been missing from one episode.
But she wasn't in like a lot of that. She wasn't in much of that one, wasn't she? She crashed through. She was in that episode a lot.
She has the guy that helps her out.
She gets in, but nothing happens. Like the whole thing with her and Pietro. So whatever is going on.
She goes and confronts Wanda in that episode.
Yeah, I was like, nothing happens. She just walks into Wanda's house and like confronts her, and then Agnes like takes Wanda away. But that's nothing.
Well, but I mean, it's not like the end of her story. They just left her there, and we didn't see her. And again, that's a huge plot to wrap up. So there is a lot in this last episode that they got to cover. So I don't believe there's any announcement of a sequel or a second season. Like this won't continue into a next season. I mean, unless something changes.
Monica Rambeau, Captain Marvel, traveling through all the different worlds to come back to her own timeline.
Yeah. Yeah, I have no problem if they leave a bunch of characters sort of in a little bit of a limbo because, whatever, they'll get to them eventually. But I figure they're going to want to wrap up a lot of these bigger story arcs at the end of the season. We'll see. A couple days.
And this one's supposed to be a longer episode, right? Like...
I mean,
50 minutes.
Oh, 50 minutes.
I think they confirmed 50.
Okay.
The internet said these last 3 episodes were all an hour, and they were not.
20
so
credits.
Well, they're technically an hour if you add in commercials.
They were like 40 minutes with the 10-minute credits. What is that official, Kevin?
I saw that in two trustworthy places.
Okay.
50.
I'll tell you, the hour-long episodes is my fault. I seriously read that somewhere, and it was...
that was all over, yeah.
Yeah. I saw a fan-made image that said Kevin Feige, I don't remember how to pronounce his last name, confirmed that they were an hour long each. I could never find... There was no source for that, and it was just people sharing the same image.
It was Agnes.
Yeah. All along.
Hey, one last compliment for this episode, and because I did read some complaints about, it was just an info dump, it was all exposition, it stopped the story cold, we should have been told this stuff like organically instead of just dumped.
I mean,
I really liked that they went back and shaded things that we already knew without retconning anything. like they filled in between things that we knew about, like her parent, like the Stark bomb, her at Hydra. Like we got I just thought it was really gracefully done. And I'm glad they did that episode. I thought it was a nice change of pace.
Yeah, for me, it was within the episode. It was within the story that existed. My problem with episode 4 is that it basically puts us in a totally different show, right? But this worked because I felt like it was part of the plot.
And for me, and we've talked about this a little bit, and I know Ryan's talked about this a bunch. Like at the beginning of this series, the Wanda character, the Scarlet Witch, doesn't really have a lot of tie to the comic book character in terms of sort of like power and that kind of stuff, because she's been relatively undefined other than sort of some abilities around mind manipulation and telekinesis kind of thing. This particular episode changes all that. It brings her much closer to sort of like that evolution of probability hex to chaos magic to like it totally brings the Scarlet Witch character so much closer to the comic character.
And and does it without tearing down everything that we've already seen in the MCU. That's what's so great.
Well, you get because I was talking about what happened between, here and what happened here, that scene where she's with Hydra and a volunteer, like you're like, oh, okay. Connect it with her and Petro in the boxes at the end of Winter Soldier. You're like, okay, boom, like the puzzle pieces are fitting together now. Cool. Like I got what I needed.
Let's just call it what it is. The Jeff Johns, the Scarlet Witch for the MCU. I'll have to say this, though. I think the entire show, for me, was a giant setup for the one line by Division, and it was fucking great. The whole love persevering line, I was like, holy shit. That was so well done. It's like...
You and the internet love that line, huh?
Dude, I feel like the whole show was set up for that one line. I was like, all right, that's off.
Well, we can all tune in next week to hear how wrong we all were.
Yeah, cannot wait.
Been wrong 8 out of 8 episodes so far.
Well, Ryan hated episode 4. That's on the record.
Let's go for a straight 9.
Can you please not spoil me this next week, please? Like
I will just text him a whole bunch of emojis at like 2 a.m. of just like in code, like
watch the credits. That's all I'm gonna say.
Well, because you have to watch out, because I think we had an end credit, a mid credit, and then now they're going to do the double, right? So they might have 2.
Yeah, they very well could. Yep.
This is where Brock will be justified. After the credits are over, the stork it'll be a puff of red smoke, and the stork will transmogrify into a giant devil.
Yeah.
The end. Will you feel justified?
No,
I knew it was that stork. He's suspicious looking stork.
We will never hear the end of it from Brock for like the next day.
Right.
Why
was
it in there? What was the purpose of that stork? The bunny I get. You can talk to your animals. You can be crazy. But what was the stork doing?
It brought the kids.
That actually happens. And I was like, I'll write to Disney. You guys, you little fuckheads. Why did you make this happen? We're never going to hear the end of this for the next 10 years. As long as the bloody podcast exists, we're going to hear Brock about his fucking stork.
Man, got to give me an explanation for it. I mean, I get the symbolism, but...
Are you going to be disappointed if you don't get an explanation?
No, I'm not going to give a shit. I'm just going to be like, whatever.
I was just going to say, you better prepare yourself.
I had a buddy of mine once told me he really, really disliked the Romeo Must Die movie, the Ali and Jet Li one. I'm like, okay, that's interesting. Why, right? And out of everything, like literally anything they could have pulled from, he goes, well, I hated it that in the flashback, the 2 kids were hugging on this basketball in the ocean to survive. But at that time, that basketball couldn't possibly exist. I was like, well, hold on. Out of anything you could possibly pick on this movie on, you're really angry that they used the wrong basketball for that scene.
Hey, Brock.
Yeah.
Remind listeners again why you don't like John Carter, Warlord of Mars.
Oh God. Oh.
Movie.
Wait, the novel?
Oh no, the movie. Oh.
What's wrong with
so
you?
Painful.
John Carter's fantastic,
Like,
but you don't like it for one reason. Why do you not like that movie?
Because they typecast like two of the characters in it, and I'm like, they did a much better job in Rome.
Just wanted to double check if that was still your reasoning.
Yeah, so, yep. Not that it's kind of a boring movie, but
that's all I got to say about that. I love John Carter. John Carter is a fantastic movie. Way underrated.
I was like rooting for that girl Lynn Collins to be Wonder Woman for the longest time. Or before.
I wish that movie had been more successful because I like some of the later books better than Princess of Mars.
Oh, I wanted to see more in general.
Yeah, that would have been great.
Yeah, that movie just always upsets me when people give it shit because you can always tell they've never seen it.
Yep.
Yeah.
I've seen it.
That's
and you
fine,
don't like it
Brock.
because
and I've also seen Rome.
You said the actors play the same characters that they played in Rome.
It is disgusting.
Which actors?
The one that played God, I can't remember. It's been so long. One was Alexander? No. I don't remember. One was the like leader of the army and the other was like the king or something. I don't know. Or the
just checking.
Just whatever.
Just making sure. Just
whatever. I can dislike something for some asinine reason. You like stuff for more asinine reasons.
I totally agree with you. You can like or dislike anything for any reason.
Are you talking about Dominic West?
Dominic West wasn't in Rome, though, I don't think.
Because if he's talking about Dominic West, man, Rome is the wrong show because we have to talk about The Wire. All right? We're going to have to do a whole new podcast about The Wire.
Oh, yeah, Toby, let's do it.
Dude, if you don't see Dominic West as Jimmy McNulty, like...
Oh, he's amazing.
Yeah.
Your life is unfulfilled?
That's the only character you're supposed to see him as.
Toby, I ever tell you we watched the first 2 episodes of The Wire and me and Leanne are like, nah, we're good.
Yeah, I kind of expect that.
So suddenly my take on Superman and Lois is not so scorching hot. We've got much greater sins on display here.
But I have terrible taste. See, that's the thing. That should come with no surprise.
If you don't like The Wire, I'm sorry.
I tried.
He redeems himself. He likes Ozark.
Dude, The Wire was so fantastic.
Yeah, people that like The Wire sure like The Wire.
What?
We are going to wrap up now before we start talking about The Wire because... The Wire is one of those shows you never talk to people that like The Wire about The Wire because all they want to do is then talk about The Wire.
Yes.
So
let's do it.
So we are going to wrap up now. Thank you.
Charlie Size podcast, like every single episode, we'll do an episode.
Thank you to our wonderful friends Joe Duff, Jesse Peterson at the Comic Book Matters podcast, Jimmy Rivera at the Social Forum podcast, Andrew Nelson Mendez at Recovery of an Anime Junkie, and Craig Anderson over at ClearPathCoaches.com. Check out geekbox.net, comicspiracypodcast.com, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify. Actually, scratch the first one. I know Geekbox is getting an overhaul. I don't think our podcast is going to be on there anymore. I mean, it's not that we're not doing Geekbox stuff. It's just Ryan's redesigning the site to just have the most recent episode of the podcast. So, because he hates updating it.
Is that what I'm hearing? You guys are done? Are we retiring?
No. He's just he doesn't like doing anything, so he doesn't want to do the podcast.
So he doesn't want to do the podcast
post
anymore.
And artwork and everything. Right. Yeah.
Good news. I'm kidding.
Comicsconspiracy.biz, where you can go to purchase comics from us, including all the big books that came out this week, all available there. Check out conspiratobrock.com for Brock's blog, video pull lists, and unboxing videos. Head over to Wanderers in the Fourth Dimension podcast. Go check out Doctor Who podcast from Charlie. And Kevin has Between the Panels at fanbasepress.com interviews with different creators. And Leanne, my wife, has leannehill.com, where you can find all her artwork there, as well as etsy.com/shop/LeanneHillArt. Follow all of us on Twitter. Ryan Higgins, Ryan, Toby XI, Charlie is Insanity and Chaos. Hold on, Nico, almost done. Kevin is at Kevin Sharp. The store is Comic Con Store. Brock Sager, at Brock Sager, one of these days, coming back strong, baby. Just give it time.
We've passed 140 days.
If you want to go to Geekbox and listen to the most recent episode, you'll hear an episode where we welcome back the one, the only Karen Chu
Ooh,
back on the podcast.
nice.
Talk about all her appearance on The Chase, the game show she was on. So if you want to get some behind the scenes info on game show stuff, now that Karen is no longer working for Twitch, and maybe she'll jump back on the podcast from time to time. Old, just like old times, just on the internet now. And our good friends over at Manga Machinations, go check those guys out as well. Okay. We are done. WandaVision coming soon. We'll catch our last episode. I'm sure it's going to be a big WandaVision episode next week to wrap up talk of that show. Almost done, Nico. Hold on, puppy.
And then we go
done.
right into Falcon Winter Soldier.
Yeah, it's going to be really quick. We're done. We'll catch everyone next week. Goodbye.